Rightio. Round 2. I got interrupted last time and my one-take system didn't work. I had to walk off and pause the video because I thought I was getting something collected. No, it was a delivery, but, you know. Whoop-de-doo. So everyone, I've recently built a destroyer. And she's a little nose heavy, but, you know, simple enough. So we got ourselves a pretty... These are all, it's basically a basic model, stripped down to per necessities and limited mod use, which is just the water mod, currently. So, main weapons are currently 2 artillery guns, secondary weapons are 4 assault cannons, got 2 missile and 2 Gatlins for previous rolls, and fireworks. For fireworks. That is my excuse for them. And the small landing pad, so potentially something on there, so yes. Nose heaviness could be cancelled by small grid on the back, I presume, if it's heavy enough, or as we enter the interior, which has a 2-door system from rear and side, which really would make more sense if that was further off, actually. Ah well, we can look over that at some point. I just realised something, these are not connected in my blueprints. Oh, that's a bit funny. Are they all the same? Is that... Huh. Interesting. Let's quickly just save the destroy map 1-1 for the fixed pipe. Is it? Never mind. I just realised how badly have I messed up this. Christ alive. We do something a bit dangerous and delete the original one. I still have some old Steam things I've saved too, and we'll... This is probably a mirroring tool error. Pipes look good. We're just honestly showing off more of the ship than I was intending to originally at this speed. So, yep. Yep. Right, you're seeing we have gyroscopes up here, so this is currently a design fault. This is all gyroscopes on the ship at the front. So you can disable the ship by taking out the front of it. So really, I need some more gyroscopes about. But that is a fully war-capable version, and not just the daft craft that it is version. You also have an access port that leads to nothing here, which potentially could be a side port depending on. Basically, I've made a basic model to mould for what I need and want. So, there we go. I think it's time we can be happy with that. There we go. Right. So get back to the tour. Yes, bridges here. Some of the new blocks being used here and there. Fireworks. Kind of thought as an a AAA emplacement style sort of like a flak field. That was where my mind went. Exactly where it went was a flak field, and it kind of doesn't work. I think they might have updated it. I think it was. It kind of is a pain to get hit by a firework. So we have 2 ladder shafts with doors and glass to seal it off, and we are powered purely by hydrogen engines and batteries. With 1 H2O generator, which is funny enough, once again, up front. So you can pretty much damage this fairly well. They're saying that. Bare minimum, this has got 2 blocks of full armor and 1 shaped block. And the front of this is a fair bit back, so yeah. It is a bit of a daft design, I will admit. It's got some faults. We'll quickly, I think for shits and giggles, show off the how bad the fireworks don't quite work as you want. Let's do that, that fixes the sound we don't want any helmet sounds. Unrealistic for some reason. Fire! Work. Launcher. It kind of works, it just... Because of how the water mod works, we are quite high in altitude. So they work better as depth charges. Also, thankfully, they don't do any damage on collision. But as attention floaters, they do quite well. So potentially need a bit more of a lower water mod, a water plane for this to work. Which is more of an SE thing. But it's highly amusing. So if it's like a friendly and enemy grid system, which would be quite interesting, but I've driven through this in a plane a few times and I haven't got hit by one. So to be fair, it is quite hard. So this may more work better as an anti-pirate effect, for, like infantry on the deck, saying it is pelting our own ship more than anything. So, while interesting, we're currently listing slightly. As we've just fired out untold millions of fireworks. It is odd with listing. But isn't top heavy? I think it's front heavy and top heavy, and that might be an excuse for why it's listing. But it is doing a couple odd weird things, I will admit. And yeah, so I think I've shown everything important off. Now let's get into the well, actually, I'll probably explain the armor package a touch more. While we are quite short on time, in the sense that I haven't, well, in this retake I've sort of wrapped up my rambling to a bit more efficiently and glossed over some odd attempts. So we more or less, I do remember rightly, a light armoured skin vehicle. Underneath is where the armour is placed, because this is hotlogs. So technically this entire section, which you can probably tell by these connectors, as we go into here, it connects a bit better. But this is heavy armour, this plate. And we have some heavy armour skinning in here, and underneath as well, in places we have heavy armour. Clearly by the two rows for the engine protectors, because these are directly placed on the heavy armour to stop, hopefully, like torpedo style warping. And we're mostly light armoured skinned around, but there are, once again, heavy armour here as well, so there are some. It's mainly splash damage from what I've briefly seen in my experimentation. The light armour moulds away and scraps away, but the heavy armour pretty much tanks anything splash related, even though it warps a little bit through it, which is why I don't always like heavy armour, because it's got the weird sort of passive effect where I built heavy dreadnoughts and all the interior stuff got wiped out, but the armour plating was still untouched relatively to what got damaged, so you know, there's a little bit of that. We're still drifting this damn thing. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a... It's very slight moving, that's another thing. Let's get ourselves a helicopter. In clearly the most naval colours I can think of on the fly. I really should just copy the plane, but I was like, no, what's it called, plane colouring doesn't work on a helicopter, why would you do that? I miss a bit here apparently. This is mainly just some blue camouflage. And some shiny, I don't know, I was just messing around really. So as you can see, my helicopter actually fits, which I didn't realise it did, but it fits quite well, funny enough, sideways. And we can take off easily enough. And yeah, since this thing's... I just realised the helicopter blade's purple. Is that me or is that the mod? I can't remember. Anyway, more or less, the ships are well defended. And with what is a potential helicopter escort, which we could check the guns for my other quick experiment next after this. With... let's go... turret. Taxi, get door. Yes, yep. Ah, bloody ring bells. Very useful. Get pestered every time I check the door. And voila. So let's get some distance and we'll do something opposite, because sometimes I try to set these as enemy targets, but then you have to turn all the guns off and turn them back on again. What if we just set this grid as enemy instead, and I should have the... Oh, was it this pick? She was asking about this pickup, for God's sake. I don't even know. They just paid up, dropped stuff at the door, and running around in Crocs. And of the, well, to describe them briefly, I would guess the Indian and Pakistani kind of, not to be mean to any of them, but that is how I would describe the ethnicity, I guess. Not so they look similar or anything. Oh, for God's... Oh, have you done this? Have you done that? Stop looking back at me. Anyway, and there we go. We have now turned this enemy helicopter into a enemy helicopter. And since I got the admin controls, I can now yank it. To be fair, I looked down and saw, is he wearing green Crocs? And there's like, oh, parcel. Which is entertaining enough. So, we should now start getting engaged. Yeah, by this small flotilla. They have crashed into each other. Ooh. Help. I wondered when that happened. This is where the fun part comes in, because we have to switch to space pirates. And all the guns now wake up and realise, oh no, we need to shoot that. It's quite entertaining. So it's got quite a good AA defense. The missiles do a lot of work, especially from the front end. And the Gatlin's gonna wrap it up. So, well, let's see how we can do if we pretend this was an enemy fleet ducked off to the side. Because realistically, these are mass production ships. These are ships you would make to be patrol ships. And even they don't like the bloody helicopters. Let's see, can we... I have a good feeling. And we can use the battle guns and turrets to target. So this is clearly, naturally, the turrets want to target lower, and this is just on default. So using this ship as its longest possible range of the what's the longest range? It could be 2,000 away, but its extended range ability with targeting in default. Though with precision targeting, it does generally ruin their armor, but it is showing that it takes about 20 hits in one block area to puncture the entire ship, which is not exactly known. It isn't a dreadnought, it isn't heavy armoured, but it is considerably doing well at taking rounds to the front. If you ignore the fact that how easy they're feeding rounds. It's funny how the Gatling guns try and intercept the rounds. It shows you how slow they are. So far we're not doing too bad on this bombardment. The gyroscopes are still in place, which generally they're not in the worst spot. It's just the problem is they are bound to be taken out by the next round that hits the centre column. For some reason, it really likes to target in between these two armor sections. Ooh, we've got a deck hit there again. Nasty gash. That is... Ooh, that's getting crushed. It's just gone straight for the bridge. Alright, let's try to reopen that again. That round did not like that. I think it hit the main console as well, so that was dead center across the bridge. Did it hit the turret, or the armor rebounded off through the glass? Oh god, this recording session has just gone wrong. The first attempt got interrupted by delivery. Second attempt interrupted by text on about did I get the delivery? Then asking was it the people parking up? Right, open a can to breathe. A sigh of relief. And nothing's changed. Alright, you got that lovely, I do mean lovely, show. So, let's show off a bit of armour, shall we? You saw the front armour work. As you can see, light armour goes away, heavy armour more or less takes it pretty well. So that's more or less the concept behind most of the armour packages. There are gaps where you can lay it around because of the shape of the hull, which makes it sense, you know. It isn't a perfect design. Barrel explosive. Shall we try sinking it? Like the Titanic. We'll turn off the mirroring. We don't want to do mirroring. We want to blow a big hole. So let's say it's had a vertical strike down of a large explosive device. As seen. And by the looks of it, it honestly looks better sitting in the waterline like this. But it is leaning back slightly. So what does that exactly hit? Oh, that's just blown through the entire sort of vertical up and down deck. Minus these here, so... And yeah, it is done exactly what I said, was it skirted around some of the armor packages on this ship. Let's go to the water, and voila! Heavy armor. Light armor. Light armor? Heavy armor, so... Heavy armor, light armor, yes, I said there is a literal steel gap, which I didn't realise until afterwards, but that was more or less because of keeping the outer hull shape look nice, so yeah. A tad annoying. So let's then say this was hit by a weaker weapon, and we'll blow off like a torpedo, a charge or something. So something's exploded, it's hit a weakened side, and it's shown it can go through decks quite easily. And are we rolling? Because this is the second issue I saw in my off-screen testing. Is it a little bit top heavy? When you weaken some of the slower, lower stability, I'm just realising it's drifting, it's doing its old drifting trick. Which is a dampener problem, so technically I can probably... So let's turn off dampeners. Let's turn it back on quickly so we slow down. So that's it, someone's on helm. Trying to naturally fix this. Turn off dampeners. And it's still rolling. So there's an issue of this very thin design of a ship. It's not got multiple inner and middle compartments. It's not got layers of the right stability. So it's showing exactly where we damaged it, which is side and rear. I don't want to do that, but there we go. And let's do a quick test of saying, what if we blew something up underneath it? These barrels are quite funny. There we go, so we say we've got something stuck underneath, maybe a lower torpedo hit or a rocket or some kind of lines. And it is blown straight from the light armour, which is a downside to the flat bottom design. Also jumped the ship up a bit. But it's still floating, which is odd. This design is very much odd, which I think is a water mod, so I can't wait for the the unnamed SE2 as it is currently. Because there's a couple of things in this war mod I love and I don't like. Ooh, I didn't like that. Yet, even with all this punishment, it is just moving idly, quickly, off into directions. So... well, let's just put it on and just see if we can send it down to the bottom properly. So basically, for what is a small destroyer, a patrol craft, lightly armoured, it takes a fair whack. Because technically, it's perfectly fine other than the holes in the fact it's sinking. It's still, as a functional grid, a functional grid. Excluding the gyroscope issue, which is a frontal... Well, it can go submarine, basically. It's just a submarine destroyer, of course. Ignoring the frontal gyroscope issue, which we can probably see if it gets of the stability properly. X. That moving grid. Explosive barrel. Start countdown. And let's just say we properly take out the front of the ship. It is not technically fully sank yet, it's still slightly, barely, poking at the water. Which shows it's still technically floating slightly. It's the old-fashioned way of dumping barrels on it until it cracks. There's also this lovely idea I had of having a wire compartment in the middle, which does quite nicely break off the compartments into two sections, left and right. That should do enough. Practically every compartment on the boat has been breached. So yeah, that is effectively sunk. There might be one compartment that's still keeping that entirely afloat. So technically, there's been lightning, if you know the lightning. This is the annoyance of the water mod of dropping things into the water, as I wanted. So technically, if a plane could drop bombs, depth charges, or floating mines, what would they do? And from this experiment, apparently not much. I mean, the collision's done more damage. I don't think we can... Ooh, here we go. Properly managed to rip out the entire heavy armor package. Well, this is a single block heavy armor package, but ripped out the side of this absolutely gorgeously. Honestly, you could probably escape this sinking ship. Not realistically, because bulkhead doors would be a bit pain in the ass and all the people on board, but SE-wise, it is very much an escapable ship. It's a lot of resources lost. That is the thing with ships, though. You do generally lose them with most of it still intact. And having potential proximity barrels would be an interesting concept for naval warfare because they float. Let's try an underwater approach. Properly this time we are going full madman trying to sink this as intended. And I think we've mainly missed because this thing's drifting like a pain in the ass. And the more explosions, the more this grid starts bouncing around like a madman. But we've spawned them in quite close. So if you had proximity timed, they exploded doing no damage, which winds me the hell up. So these have to be like singular attacks, potentially. Because they sometimes do and do not do anything. But I want to take out the power of this ship. And they float, which is an issue. Trying to kill the power, which is a pain in the ass because this ship is designed to not really lose power without sinking. Basically, it's designed to sink before you really run out of power. I don't know if it's backwards or not, but there we go, we've got a full Titanic. We could probably get rid of that. Easy enough. That's not going to explode because I just put a barrel down, didn't I? Alright, doesn't matter. I'll leave it be. Anyway, as you can see, we've... This way's up, this way's up. We sank them pretty well. With barrels, so... Oh boy, I forgot I had this installed. Oh, it might have an ending. And I didn't want to take this video to be long, but it's staying that way. Okay, if we put a warhead on deck, what would happen? Pretty large explosion. That's not going to kill the boat. This is why I'm crashing SE again. Go me. What if we had a single nuclear bomb on deck? I'd fucking like it. Oh, I didn't forget about the nukes. If this gets in the thumbnail. Mwah. Beauty. Now where's the damage? Holy hell, that survived it alright. I mean, this ship is fine. That one less. Oh good, it's gonna collision it. I mean, if I put the nuke, let's say, in here, repressurize this, put it back here. Yeah, that does a bit more damage than you'd think. I mean, for scuttling it works quite well. And is it? Oh, because it's the original copy design. And this is the meaner nuke. So do we? It's proper old-fashioned testing. I'll put these side by side. what I've nuked. I think I've won. Oh, this is what... Oh, God. Well, at least you get to see the nice armor profile of the ship's layout. Simple and effective. I think I cut it in half. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I forgot about the nukes I had lying around. So yeah, the nukes are... Well, other than being nukes. The nukes. We say... Hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, Discord should be in the description. Comment down below with any ideas, and hope you guys enjoyed.